Hi, welcome to the video. If you are watching this as it has been posted as a recording, skip to like a few minutes in because the first few minutes I'm sharing links, I'm greeting folks who come in, and if you want to learn about how to make 500 bucks a day doing, thrift store haul kind of work, side hustle kind of stuff, you want to stick around for that. What I'm going to do is I have all my items right here. I had to move some boxes out of the way, and we're going to go over each item, and I'm going to explain to you why I bought it, how much it's going to go for, I think, or how much it's selling for on Amazon currently, and if there's anything else to say about the item, some advice, some tips, I'm going to share that as well with you. So we have a quick number, a quick number. We have a small number of people here right now. Thank you so much for coming here. I have to quick open up the video and then take the links that way. It's kind of a backwards process, but you know what? It works. So we're gonna keep doing this until I pony up and buy a better live stream system. We already have Michelle and Ike and Life by Melinda here. So hello, thank you for coming. Share this link on your social media. Do what I'm doing. I'm posting it on Twitter and Facebook right now. Do the same thing, because the more people who watch these videos, the better it's going to be for everyone. You might say, oh, well, what about competition? And there are so many ways to make money that if you're worried about sharing the information because you're going to create competition for other people or for yourself, that makes no sense. Just get better at certain things. We are live. I wish they made keyboards that were like 2.5 times bigger, so people with big fingers could use them easily. That's what I want for Christmas this year. Someone make me a giant ass keyboard. Okay, so the links are all posted. I'm gonna pop out the chat. Sparrow and Juan and Jeremy are here. Thank you so much for stopping by, my friends and colleagues. Okay, I think we are good to go. I think we're ready to go. Quick thumbs up too for the video while you're here. I'm gonna intermittently be requesting that because as the videos get more thumbs up, the potential for a new subscriber to see the live stream as it's occurring live, you get a little live icon in the bottom of the thumbnail, that just goes up the more and more thumbs up you get. So they're very important for introducing new people to ways to make money on their own terms, to increase the power and the leverage of the individual, of the small business. And when you do that, good things happen. When you do, it's the opposite of, consolidating power or money or whatever it is. And so who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want everyone to have the ability to, use the fruits of their labor and their intellect and their skills to make money? I don't know. I don't know who doesn't, but some folks don't. But if you do, share the video. Okay, so the first thing I want to say is not a thrift store find, but I've begun buying these. This is a brand new universal remote, and I have a couple hundred of them in the back there. But I wanted to pull them out because what I'm doing now is I got those for $2.50 a piece in a giant bulk buy. Because like I said earlier, or previously in other videos, the amount of people who are returning VCRs because they don't have the AV cords or they don't have the remote is, for whatever reason, it's an uptick right now. And I don't know if they're using that as an excuse because they're out of a job and they're looking for ways to get money back, or if they genuinely expected that, or if it's maybe something in between. So I'm experimenting with putting remotes. These are just RCA generic universal remotes. I'm experimenting with putting those into my manual merchant fulfilled shipments, not the FBA ones, because I'm not doing that right now currently. Everything I'm doing now, everything I'm doing new, all my new purchases, not everything I'm doing, all my new purchases are merchant fulfilled on Amazon. So I'm kind of experimenting with that in a way to see how it goes. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about, I spent probably, I don't know, 200 bucks today. I went to about 8 thrift stores, and I should make at least 500 bucks, probably closer to 1,000 bucks. And it's going to take most of this stuff. There's a few things that might take a few months to sell, but a lot of this is just electronics and video games and kind of bread and butter items that go off my shelves fast. The first thing is this, it's a Guitar Hero guitar right here. PSLGH, it's for the PlayStation 2. And you can tell it's for the PlayStation 2 by the cord right here, by the input cord. So a lot of times you'll see Guitar Hero guitars like this, and this is a wireless one, and this one in particular can be used on a PS4 or an Xbox One, but sometimes they will only work with like an Xbox 360 or a PS3 or whatever it is, and so you have to be wary of that. But it'll say, you know, Guitar Hero controller for the PS3 on the Guitar Hero controller behind the battery panel right there. So you take that off on some of the older models, and it tells you what it is. This Guitar Hero guitar right here, the one from that I just got today, it does not have a battery panel because it's got wired power, and so the way you can tell what console this is for is based off of the whatchamacallit right there, the little input port. It's called like a Red Octane SG Cherry Red Guitar Hero guitar. If I remember correctly, I think that's what they're called. And they sell for, you know, the price on those varies. I've seen them go for 35 bucks. I've seen them go for 80 bucks. So I price mine around 60 or 70 dollars. And when I do FBA, I go like at 90 bucks because unfortunately the FBA fee on those Guitar Hero guitars is like $28. And generally to ship them, it's only gonna be like 12 bucks. So you're actually being charged more per unit on those because they're especially long. They're an oversized item, even though they weigh like under a pound or a pound and a half or whatever it is. So in this instance, doing it merchant fulfilled actually makes me more money, but it kind of can be a little bit more difficult too because especially with the Guitar Hero guitars that do not break in half. So like with this Guitar Hero Live guitar for the Xbox One or PS4 and some of the other Guitar Hero guitars, what you can do is there's a little, I'm not going to take it off right now because I don't have a tool for it, but there's a triangle right here, and this is a screw that connects the neck of the guitar with the body of the guitar. And so when you ship it, you remove this, put it on here, and it ships at a very, very affordable rate because the package dimensions are like, I don't know, let's see, probably 15 by 11 by 3, which is going to give you, I believe, priority cubic rates if you use that. I'm not sure how they sell on eBay. I don't sell Guitar Hero guitars on eBay because Amazon's so much more convenient. The exception to that rule, though, is I did have like a Guitar Hero guitar with a Guitar Hero brand guitar case, as well as a Guitar Hero PS2 game, and it was all like a bundle, and that bundle didn't exist on Amazon, so I did sell that individually just because I was able to get, like, you know, make 10 or 15 more bucks than if I were to sell the items individually because of shipping fees and because like the Guitar Hero bag doesn't really sell for anything at all by itself, and if it does, it sells for like 5 or 10 bucks, which I'm not gonna do that. Do that at all. Hello, Heather, Tina, and Peter. Good to have you here. So we're at 8 minutes now, and I'm gonna keep going through my thrift haul and giving you a basic idea of what the things are worth. And if you have questions about what I'm talking about, or about really anything at all, resale or e-commerce, or just kind of like a hustle, side hustle related, ask the question in the chat and I'll answer it. And if you're watching this on the replay, meaning if it's not live, but it's still living on my YouTube channel, please ask questions in the comments below. I will answer your questions. I answer tons of questions every day. People want to know and I want to give them answers because, like I said, when more people have the ability to make money for themselves, everything is better. Okie dokie. So I bought this as well. It's a new in box Imaginext Monster University toy. I'll be able to sell this for about 30 bucks. I paid $2 for it. This is right on the edge of what I would sell in new condition. I might sell this like new. I'm gonna see if I can clean up the adhesive right there, as well as the adhesive up here, because beyond that, those are really the only like serious defects I see with the I mean, yeah, adhesive sticker there too. Those are the only serious defects that I see with the packaging. So I don't think I would get a return on this. I might even hold off until Q4 to sell this. Imaginext toys, they're like these toys that I believe you put them on a base, and that has some sort of like it speaks or makes a noise. I'm not totally sure, but I do sell a lot of these. Rico says, do you have a detailed video on eBay and how to sell? I have several videos on that on my channel about how to list things, about how to look up the price of things, about how to package things, about how to figure out, okay, if maybe this niche isn't working for me, how to find a new niche. So I have dozens of videos. Go through my channel. My YouTube name is WB Knoblock, so search WB Knoblock eBay, and you'll get a whole bunch of listings. Let's see. Ahmad says, what do you think about eBay dropshipping? And I think that dropshipping for people who live in the United States and have the ability to go to thrift stores or garage sales or use OfferUp or use Facebook Marketplace or do retail arbitrage or do any of that kind of stuff, excuse me, I think that eBay dropshipping is a terrible, terrible idea because you're taking on so much risk for so little potential profit. But if you're someone in a different country, or if you are in circumstances that I don't know, that don't allow you to do those things, then yeah, sure, eBay dropshipping is better than nothing. But if I were to like rank all the ways to make money, I would put that at the bottom of the list, right around just like getting a job, you know, just because it's not a good way to do things, in my opinion. Roland says, what state are you? I am in Michigan. Just sold my first item on eBay. I offered free shipping. If I offer free shipping and the buyer has the option of choosing the shipping option, oh, I see what you're saying. So you are saying that you offered free shipping as well as an option for something else, and yes, the buyer has the ability to choose. I just had this happen 2 days ago. I sold an item. The buyer said, hey, can you ship this priority mail? How much will it cost? Because at the time I had only one shipping option that was first class mail, because it was under £1. So I said, okay, first class mail, I'll ship it free. They wanted it priority because priority is going to be 2 days, whereas first class will be like 2 to 5 days. So they wanted it sooner than that. They wanted it for the weekend, and they ended up paying it was like $25 plus the $7.25 for priority shipping. So yes, they do have the option to choose. Thank you for the question, Philip. Like, whoa is the YouTube name. One of these, I have sold probably, I don't know, 100 of these, maybe even more. This is a Fisher-Price Beat Bow toy. These sell good on eBay, on Mercari, everywhere. I can sell them on Amazon because I am ungated for Fisher-Price. So I do look out for these at thrift stores. I'm gonna have to clean it a little bit. When I test these, I make sure that the battery contact points have no corrosion on them, because a lot of times these kids' toys, they get forgotten and neglected for months, maybe even years, and that causes the batteries to explode, and you get nasty corrosive residue all over the contact points. The good news is though, those contact points are easy to clean. What I use is a toothbrush and just like any kind of cleaner, really. I'll use rubbing alcohol sometimes. I'll use Lysol spray sometimes. I'll use Goo Gun sometimes. They all kind of have the same effect of cleaning off the shit and making it more, you know, look nicer, because sometimes it still works. But the last thing I want to do is get a return because some mom out somewhere doesn't like that there is corrosive residue on the bottom of her contact point on the inside of her Fisher-Price Beat Bow foot. That is just too, that'd be upsetting, right? Tanya is here. Hello, Tanya. Good to have you here. I bought a few books. Someone commented that I'm not really doing as many book videos as I used to, and that's true. I have several videos, a whole series on buying truckloads of books and going through all these used books. I don't do it anymore because it was kind of bad on my lungs and it was kind of a hassle to get the trucks and get the large space rented. But I do have some books right here. And I just bought these. They cost me $0.25 a piece, and they're all legal books. They're all like law school books. So someone either dropped out of law school or graduated law school or decided it wasn't for them or whatever it is and donated these books. And they range from about like worth 10 or 15 bucks a piece to 25 bucks a piece. This book, actually, I bought for myself just to read. It's a concise introduction to American politics. And I said, you know, why not? It's there. I might as well get it. But most of these are like law books, and I should get probably, you know, 40 or 50 bucks total off of all those. Whenever you can see academic books, books that apply to a vocation, or books that outline a specific and esoteric skill, those are always worth looking up. One of my biggest random book sales was a book called The Introduction to Metallurgy. You know, mixing metals to make new metals, to make new compounds. That book was very esoteric, very niche. There were no listings for it anywhere, and I sold it for 200 bucks in about 8 months. So always have an eye out for niche educational, niche job application, niche craft work books, because generally those are not the ones that have content that is readily available in YouTube videos like this, or on blogs, or just as common sense. We have Mike, Patrick, Roland, and again Lily talking in the chat. And Roland says, do you recommend Profit Bandit? Not over anything else, but it is a good app. It's as fine as, I mean, it used to be a lot better than Amazon Seller App, but Amazon Seller App upped their game recently. So what I do like with Profit Bandit is when you scan an item, you get to see both the manual prices and the FBA prices, and that can expedite the sourcing process if you're doing like a lot of books, for example. But the way I source, I pretty much know what everything is worth when I go into a thrift store, so it isn't that important really. Let's see. Juan says, I am a reseller for over 12 years, getting ready to start it up for my nonprofit organization. Good, awesome to hear, man. I wish you luck. Blake, do you highly recommend Profit Bandit? Same question. I don't highly recommend it, but it's not bad. You know, it isn't. You're not going to be upset when you use it. I can't think of any apps off the top of my head that don't work. Like when you use them, or are disappointing or irritating. You know, I guess the eBay app used to be garbage like 2 or 3 years ago, or like 5 years ago at this point. Christ, 2020. So like 5 to like 10 years ago, there were a lot of trash apps, but a lot of them now are, you know, pretty decent. Christian says, hey, I'm new to reselling. Would you know some bread and butter clothing items someone may find? Nah, not really. I don't like selling clothes. I think selling clothes is kind of low ceiling and a lot of work for a lot of people, myself included. I've done it before. It's fun to buy clothes because everyone's selling clothes, and so you can kind of share what you get, and there's like a communal aspect to it on social media. But in terms of making money, selling clothes is by far the least profitable way that I personally have ran my business. Just because I don't have an eye for detail like that. I don't, like, if a shirt has a hole in it, I don't give a shit about that. Tons of my shirts have holes in them. I don't care. It's just not the way that I view the world. With electronics though, does it function? Oh, good, you can sell it. It's much more cut and dry in my opinion. So the bread and butter items I'd recommend are video games, books, electronics, toys, golf clubs, like stuff like that. Free weights, you know, things like that. What is your favorite way to source? Asks Frugalicity. Yeah, Frugalicity. I always get that wrong. What is my favorite way to source? And that's going to be thrift stores by far. I love just getting in my car and going to 8 or 10 a day, and just like, that's the day. You're going to these stores, you're looking for treasures, and you know, you go from one to the other. I like that. Not everyone likes that, but I do. I talked about old electronics, and here is one right here. This is a Vizio Blu-ray player with apps. With apps included on it. I don't believe it has Wi-Fi. When they have built-in Wi-Fi, that usually boosts the price, and you're going to see an item that I have later on in the video if I get to it. It's a Wi-Fi enabled item that's worth like 250 bucks that I bought for $6, $7. This Vizio remote, it doesn't come with, this Vizio DVD or Blu-ray player doesn't come with a remote. But again, I bought a couple hundred of them, so I'm just going to include one with there, and an RCA generic remote should match up with this. I bought a whole bunch of DVDs Nothing really fancy about these. Most of them are, this one is actually, I grew up watching this video when I was a kid. It's called Bat Thumb. It's like only a half-hour long. It's from like, you know, the early 2000s. And it's just a funny, stupid video. It's not worth anything, worth like $5 maybe. But these are the real money makers. These are new sealed DVDs, and these sell so much faster than used DVDs. What I do then is I just have, at this point I've got a couple of hundred now, DVDs that I've picked up over the past few months that I have listed on Amazon. And if you're curious how to get ungated on Amazon for DVDs, I have a huge, awesome video on that does not get as many views as it should. It like outlines the whole process, but no one wants to watch it. But if you're curious how to do that, it's all for free for you on the channel. Christian says, do you think video game prices on rarer games will go down once the lockdown is completely over? Well, it might not be completely over for a long time, so I don't know about that, but I do know that prices they fluctuate, and so if we maintain at this current rate, I would say that, yeah, probably, well, I don't know now, because they already have gone down now quite considerably. Like if you track the prices of NCAA basketball 10 or NCAA football 14, they peaked in about early March, and now they're kind of trickling down. NCAA 14 is still expensive, but NCAA 10 has gone from like $90 down to $30. So to speak about specific price fluctuations in regards to this day right now, I'm not sure, but the markets always change, and it's, you know, I don't think that we're at the peak right now. I also don't think we're at the bottom. So I guess take that how you want to. I bought a Rock Band drum set and 2 guitars for $60 today, says Christian. I think you paid too much, no offense. Peter Boyle says the thrift stores by me are selling items for close to Amazon prices or eBay prices. Hard to find bargains. And Peter, my recommendation is look harder, because yes, every thrift store has things they sell for too much, but they're like 8 months behind what we are in terms of, or me at least, in terms of like reading markets and knowing what is up and knowing what's going down. And so like, yeah, did thrift stores used to charge $20 for a VCR 2 years ago after people like me made videos for a year or so about selling VCRs? Yeah, they did. But guess what? VCRs are back down to $6 a pop. It's, you know, everything is kind of cyclical in that way. So don't write off a thrift store because they have high-priced items. Write off a thrift store because they have shitty items. If a shitty item thrift store is around your area, they're not going to magically get good stuff. But the prices will change, the prices will drop. Patrick J. Malone says, this may be an obvious question, but do you find more good finds at thrift stores that are located in high-income neighborhoods? There aren't really thrift stores in high-income neighborhoods. That's what I've noticed. So what I find is the best is neighborhoods that are right on like on the edge of a very expensive area, but not like in it, because what I've, in Michigan at least, there are like boutique thrift stores, which are bullshit. Don't go to those. Those are in the high value areas. Maybe if you're a clothing reseller, that's better for you. But the way I source, I have just as easy a time finding VCRs in poorer areas as I do middle income, as I do upper income areas. The more affluent areas, no, not really. But generally, the kind of stuff that I'm buying is not going to be income dependent. It's going to be like demand dependent, where people just want this stuff. It didn't necessarily cost too much, but they just don't have it. So I would say no, but I'm sure there are lots of people, probably people who sell more clothing items or more like big ticket, I don't know, art, or maybe like bikes or motorcycles, that kind of stuff. They might disagree with me. Is GameStop clearance section and Amazon FBA a lucrative option? I don't know. It depends what the prices are, but retail arbitrage is definitely a thing. So I wouldn't say that even though they are at GameStop, that doesn't mean they're not profitable. They're probably going to cost more, but if you have a giant supply of games at your disposal because there's 16 GameStops within 20 minutes of you, maybe it is worth going to their clearance days or clearance events or clearance rows or whatever it is, scanning games and seeing if it is a way to make money. Obviously, it's always going to be, is this profitable? That's going to be the last question you answer, but retail arbitrage is a thing, so I don't see why clearance arbitrage at GameStop wouldn't be a thing too. Michelle says, we have antique thrift stores because we're in a tourist area. Yeah, that doesn't sound like the best thing in the world. I've gone into antique barns and made a couple bucks flipping stuff, but generally those people know what things are worth, so they'll go like, you know, 60% of like the eBay price if it's like a low value item, and if it's a high value item, they're pretty much always like riding what the market price is because they know that's their job, that's their business. They're the ones finding treasures too. Frugalicity, have you considered doing live auctions on YouTube? I think you could do well. I like the ones with free shipping. I have thought about it. I don't know how I would facilitate payments. I feel like I need a helper who can like get everyone's contact info because what I worry about is someone saying they bought something and then someone trying to impersonate them and myself sending an item to the wrong person and being out the money and being out the item. That's what I worry about, but I have thought about it. I think it'd be fun and be cool because, I mean, I got so much shit here. Why not do it, right? Let's see. Jesus says, just wanted to say I like your channel. Well, thank you, Jesus. You're a nice guy. One more question, and then I'll get back to looking at the stuff that I got in the thrift haul. D. Smith says, do you have any general guidelines you follow when deciding to list books FBA versus FBM? A general guideline, I'd say, if it's below 2.5 million, it's okay to FBA as long as you're making like $5 or $10 off of it. If it's above 2.5 million and you're still able to make like $15 or more, I would say keep it in your house or your garage and FBM it. But again, there's always going to be exceptions for all these rules. That's just a general guideline. We've got 50 people here. Before I go into more of my thrift haul stuff, please give it a thumbs up. Really appreciate it. Helps the channel and it helps other people as well. What's to lose? Frugalicity says most auctions require you to pay via PayPal before the auction is over. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. Have you done any Quick Lots purchases lately? Are they good for getting inventory? No, the only Quick Lots purchase I did, it was for the TV show I was on that's going to be airing in like a month or so. We were seeing like probably we double our money maybe between like 30% and, or sorry, if we'd spend $500, we'd make between like $300 and $500. And it's kind of a slow, and there's a lot of testing, and just like, it's not bad, but just not what I enjoy doing, so I haven't done it recently. Okay, back to the thrift haul. Bop It, out of batteries. Always look out for these. I paid $5 for this, which is a little too much, to be honest. I don't like paying more than $3 for toys at thrift stores. That's just the number in my head I've built up. But these old Bop Its, they're easy sells. They're, you know, people like them. I think they're going for like between $25 and $50 usually on Amazon. I'll price mine at like $45 or $50 because at this point, like I told you guys, I'm just doing merchant fulfillment. So to have it in my warehouse isn't a big deal. I bought like 3 or 4 of these today. I'll only show you one. It's a Leapfrog, my own Leap Top. Leapfrog is a brand that you are probably gated for. I'm not gated for it, so I buy these for usually, yeah, $5 for this is too much. I'll get about $30 for them. Right now, there's a lot of new ones for sale for the mid-20s, so I'm gonna let those all sell out, and then once the market kind of gets back to a higher point, that's when I'll list mine as collectible, very good, and I clean them and I disinfect them and I make sure that they're, you know, in a good condition to sell, a very good condition to sell. I picked this up kind of on a whim. It was only 50 cents. It's some photo paper. I'll sell it for 25 bucks. The thing with this is it's not made from trees. They use, what do they make this with? I have no clue what they make it with, but it doesn't use trees. It doesn't use bleach or hazardous waste. I don't know exactly. Maybe it's recycled paper, which that seems kind of deceptive because they use trees for that. But maybe it's not. Maybe it's like some kind of plastic. Whatever it is, it's matte photo paper for printing off 6x9s or whatever the hell size this is, 4x6s. And I should make some money off this. It's not gonna be a fast seller. It's like a super high sales rank, but it's so small. It'll ship for like $3. Oh, it's stone paper. God, it says right there. I'm so dumb. Yes, it's made out of stones, which is that's pretty cool, right? Pretty neat. I love selling plug and play games. Plug and play is just, it means they have these controllers right here. And then you plug it into your TV and the entire game is stored in here. This is the Nicktoons one. I have sold all sorts of these. I bought it for $5. I sell them for about 40 bucks a piece. They weigh under a pound, so they ship for cheap. And when I see them, I'll pick them up. Pretty much any brand I'll pick up. This is the Namco one. This is the Nicktoons one. The Pac-Man one is not always so expensive, but excuse me, or so worth so much. But pretty much all of them, I'd say, are worth buying. Now, the one thing you want to look out for is you always want to check this part of the game, because a lot of times with toys that kids use, they're real rough on them, and so they break the wiring here, as well as to make sure that the joystick is not broken either. Those are the two things that break usually. I've never had one of these not power on. I've never had one not work if it didn't have a cut cord. There's that bag. Goodwill. I went to a lot of Goodwills today. We're still, not all the thrift stores in my area are totally open, so I went to a few and they were just closed. So it wasn't the most lucrative thrift haul, but it was good to get out of the house. A Sony Blu-ray player. Again, I will pair this with one of my Universal remotes. I paid $8 for it. They're going for about 100 bucks. Blu-ray players are good, a good resale item. They're not going to be as valuable as like a DVD recorder or like some of the more high-end or some of the more expensive, obsolete electronics, but they're still, a good thing to buy and sell, especially if they're a brand like Sony or Samsung or LG or Vizio. Let's see. Someone asked if it's better to sell books on Amazon or eBay, and I would say Amazon. I think Amazon is a lot better to sell books because more folks buy books on Amazon. Generally, they're going for a higher price, and you can also use the FBA option. FBA for books is a lifesaver because it saves you so much time, and it gives you priority over other sellers as well if you use Amazon FBA. Okay, let's see. I bought this remote. It's a Onkyo Remote. Onkyo is kind of a higher end audio equipment brand. I paid $2 for it, which is too much to pay for a remote, but it's worth about 40 bucks. It's for a particular, it must be some sort of like entertainment system maybe, I'm not sure, because it has options for like DVD player, it has options for like a giant music system. So it's probably for like a home entertainment system or a receiver of some sort. It'll sell in a few months and I'll make 25, 20 bucks off that. Not a lot of money, but if you make 25 bucks 10 times a day, you're doing pretty good. Yeah, the remainder of this box is mostly just new in box toys. I'll sell this for probably 50 bucks. It's a refill for this, whatever the heck that is. Someone's birthday present from Toys R Us. Toys R Us is obviously defunct, so I think I'm in a good position asking a lot of money for that. And then again, more more DVDs, more new in-box games and that kind of stuff, more sealed. I actually found 3 copies of this title today for $1 a piece. It's only selling for 10 bucks right now on Amazon. I'll put mine at 15 and I'll just keep it here until it sells. It's not really a huge money maker, but if I'm there and I'm going through stuff, it's kind of hard not to pick it up if I know it's profitable. One of the coolest things I bought, one of the more interesting things I bought, and one of the things that I think I can actually give you a little bit of information about is this right here. It's a VHS tape. It's not new, unfortunately. If it was new, it'd be worth about 30 bucks. It's not new. It's used. On Amazon, I can sell it for about $10, but I think I can get about 15 bucks for it on Etsy. Why is that? Well, because this specific title, Help by the Beatles, it's an old movie. I forget when it was originally filmed, but this version of it came out in 1987. Right there you can tell, which is one of the earlier versions of it. There's versions from 87, 90, and 95. That's all I checked. And each newer iteration is worth less and less and less. This one, there's a little bit of damage in the case, but you have the picture is nice. The picture on back is fine, and there doesn't appear to be any damage to the actual tape. I'm gonna play it to make sure it works, but if all things go well, I'll put it for 15 bucks on eBay and Etsy. More just because I want to sell it, you know? Sometimes I buy things because it's fun to sell them. Someone said the original was 66. That makes a lot of sense. So yeah, it's about 30 or 21 years past its date of creation. I doubt it's the original VHS version of it. I'm sure because VHS tapes were big in the 80s, so I'm sure before that there are tons of them made. But that one in particular, it appeals to collectors, and they're willing to pay 15 bucks for it for their collection of Beatles VHS tapes. Who am I to judge? Hi from Riverside, California, says Mike's Vlogs. We've got Ken Croft and Peter. Hello, thank you for coming, really appreciate it. Hope that this video helps you make some money, and if it has, or if my channel, my videos at all have helped you make money, please give the video a thumbs up. It helps my channel, it helps people. Patrick J. Malone says, if you have one item, for instance, a VCR, will you try to sell them on more than one platform? Not unless it's a very high ticket item. So I guess if I were to find an item that was worth like $2 grand and I could list it both on Amazon and eBay, and that would increase my odds of making a sale because it's a low demand item that's just also very rare, then I would cross list it. But usually no, I'm not cross listing because it's a pain in the ass to remember to delete listings when you have 5,000 of them. Box number 2, new in box game, Mastermind. I used to love this game when I was a kid. Basically what you do is you try and create like patterns with these little dots, and the person across from you has to guess the pattern. I don't even remember actually how to play. I remember playing this with my friends all the time, and everyone hated it at me. It sells for about 50 bucks, this one in particular. I think that there's a newer version that sells for less money, but this particular barcode right there that I scanned, the listing on Amazon is at 50 bucks. And I paid right there for it. Okay, I thought this was kind of interesting. These were both just put on the shelf right before I bought them. Greatest Courses Plus, How to Understand Opera, and A to Z of Opera. So I think someone changed their mind about opera, or else they died maybe, something, hopefully not. But I paid $1 for both of these, 50 cents a piece. This should go for about 100 bucks. This should go for about 50 bucks. These Greatest Courses Plus, some people can't list them. They're gated. I'm not gated. I've never been gated for this brand. I don't know what the deal with that is. Basically, it's just like if you want to better yourself on your own time, they sell DVD and books for that. Is there a cheat sheet that tells you what seller ranks in different departments are good? Like under 100K in home improvement? Yeah, there are. Just type in Google, go to Google and type in the search bar Amazon FBA sales rank chart, and you're gonna see a bunch of people who who have made lists like this, what they do is they use the Amazon API to figure out how many listings there are, and then they kind of go back from, they reverse engineer from that. So like generally, you know, under 30,000 for video games is fine. Under 2 million for books is fine. Under 350K for electronics is fine. And that's like pretty much where I exist in those categories. Have you ever put yourself on sourcing probation until you finish your death pile? I've been on sourcing probation for 3 months. I just found my mastermind game. Loved playing it in the 70s. I dominated, so no one wanted to play me after a while. Yeah, some people just love logic games like that, myself included. Okay. So these are things a lot of folks pass on. It's just a PopCap click and point computer game. So you like have to find like it's a version of a puzzle game where you click on items and the items perform an action and you solve puzzles that way. If any of you are familiar with the computer game Myst, M-Y-S-T, this is a similar game like that. And you wouldn't think these games are worth any money, and they're not worth any money when they're used, but this one is new, and I'll sell it for about 15 bucks. I paid 50 cents for it. Again, not a huge winner, but I bought probably 35 or 40 DVDs and computer games today, and so at 10 bucks a pop at least for each of those, and this is like probably the cheapest one, obviously you can see that things add up. This was neat too. National Geographic nested boxes. I paid 2 bucks for it. There's no listings on Amazon, no listings on eBay. I'll list it for like 40 bucks. It's got an elephant on it, and my hope is that someone really, maybe they've been to Kenya recently, I don't know, and they want to get these as a gift for someone. Again, this is kind of a bad buy, but I saw it, and at the time I had nothing in my cart, and I kind of get into the habit of the fewer good items are at a store. They say that if a poker player is on tilt, he's making bad decisions. If a reseller is on tilt, he's buying stuff like that. So I was kind of on tilt. I wouldn't recommend buying that, but I bought it, so, take that how you will. Robert the user says, what BSR, which I believe he means bestseller rank, do you stay under for new DVDs? That's a good question. If I'm FBAing, under 100K. If I'm not FBAing, under $1 million. I've sold so many random ass DVDs. Like a lot of times, like the foreign language DVDs are like 600,000, but they sell pretty routinely. And so like I sold the other day, I sold some Thai competition show, like American Idol for Thailand. I sold that DVD. The sales rank was 720,000. And I sold it for like 50 bucks in, well, let's see, it's June. So Christ, it took about a year to sell. It was just sitting in my warehouse. So if you're FBAing under 100K, if you're selling merchant fulfilled, if it's new, I would say keep everything, because why not? There's DVDs, if you can buy it, that's also kind of a caveat too. I'm buying these for dirt cheap. I have essentially no investment at all in those. So that kind of is also why my rank is so much higher. If I was buying DVDs for $1, for example, as opposed to, a quarter or 50 cents, that wouldn't make a difference. If $5, if I was spending $5, then I would say I wouldn't go above like 200,000 for new DVDs. Would it be difficult for you to take a trip? I understand Amazon FBA frees you up, but it seems like you sell a lot via methods that require you to be changed to your location like a job. No, it wouldn't. I can take a trip whenever I want to. What I would do is I'd just close down my eBay listings, and I would close down my Amazon listings, and I have enough items in FBA where those are gonna give me an income for, I guess, let's see, I probably have like 18 months runway. If I were to really, because long-term storage fees. So actually, I have 6 months runway. I could take a vacation for 6 months and assuming that nothing catastrophic happens, it wouldn't be a big deal for my business or for me personally. But I think though I could probably not source for 18 months, probably. About to list 60 new items. Here we go. Awesome, freedom fighter. Good for you. Glad to have you here. Glad to see you making money like that. I love to see it. Love to see anyone succeeding. Tina Mox says, thanks for all the great content and always being a straight shooter. You're one of the biggest influences behind our resale, couponing, and YouTube journey. Very cool. Very cool. Thank you very much. Patrick J. Malone says, do you do any post-seasonal shopping? For instance, buying items right after Christmas in the store and selling pre-Christmas next year. I actually had a video all about that I posted in December, or maybe January. And the item I said, really gotta look out for these, is artificial Christmas trees. And I'm doubling down on that for this Christmas, because with all the lockdowns, with everyone's fear of getting coronavirus and killing grandmas, there are not going to be as many folks going to tree farms, going to stores, whatever, and you can't ship a Christmas tree. I mean, oh, light bulb going off, Christmas tree delivery service, that might be a business, but assuming no one does that, the only way you can ship Christmas trees is selling artificial ones. So absolutely, Patrick, I'm with you on that one. I was watching you when I had a storage unit flipping garage sale items. Now I am comfortably on my couch, able to list many items without the old hassles, an easier and more productive life. Absolutely! Love to hear it. Excuse me. Clune Trooper says, do you think now is a good time to source toys and such for fourth quarter? So, this is dependent upon you having money. If you have 20 grand to blow right now, I would say hell yeah, buy some toys. But I'm not necessarily convinced that the money you would spend on toys and the profit you would make from the toys in Q4 is larger than the amount of money you would make by just using it to sell stuff more that's more in demand right now. So obviously, if you have the cash, it's a long-term investment, not a bad one either, but I don't want anyone to be misled into thinking it's going to be cheap or fast money. We have some more DVD. This is a DVD I want you all to look out for. Dark Shadows. This is new. This is sealed. I paid $2.99 for it. Does anyone in the chat know right now how much this video sells for? This DVD series. First person to look up how much this sells for on Amazon wins. First person to look up on, yeah, someone's, Robert the user, 400 bucks listed. Christine says 200, maybe used on eBay. On Amazon right now, the lowest listing is $500. 500 bucks. Butatious Sounds just said, just watched a show about China that showed a massive artificial tree manufacturer completely closing shop. So prices might be going up soon. Good to know, good to know. Yeah, this flip right here is just, I mean, what I love about this too is the way the packaging is supposed to look worn. So even though there's a little bit of like, not dog earring, but a little bit of like shelf wear, you can't even tell. Yeah, I'm gonna sell this for a shit ton of money. I paid $3 for it. It's gonna be easily the best flip of this trip today. So what's the plan with the DVD? Merchant fulfilled or FBA? I'm gonna merchant fulfill it. I could FBA it, but it's such a high value item. I worry about someone trying to scam me with an FBA scam or whatever. So I think I'm gonna do MF on that one. I might do eBay as well, because on eBay you're offered more protections as a seller, like not allowing sellers with a lot of negative feedback. So I might actually, speaking of someone who just asked about listing, on Amazon and eBay. I might actually cross-post that one listing. I wouldn't cross-post probably anything else I bought today, but I might cross-post that one. Peter Boyle says, I see DVDs sell for hundreds of dollars. Do people really pay that much? Peter, they do! They do. One of the biggest pitfalls many resellers get themselves into is not understanding that just because they think something is not worth much money doesn't mean someone else might not think that. When you're doing this kind of resale side hustle from thrift stores, you only need one buyer per item. So I only need one person in the entire world to believe that that DVD set sells for 500 bucks or is worth 500 bucks. I need one person to believe that. Has anyone ever told you you're a damn genius? Myself, that's it. That's me in the mirror every morning. More DVDs here, more DVDs. Kind of an interesting thing right here. King of Queens. These DVDs, they just took them off Hulu, this series, so they're actually going up. If you see any King of Queens DVD sets, I would say buy them. This one was for sale for $16.74 and 23 bucks about, or 28 bucks about, respectively, at their retail stores, and I will sell these each for about 50 bucks. So this is even a potential retail arbitrage flip. Now, personally, I would not spend 28 bucks to make 50 bucks on Amazon, because 50 bucks on Amazon is only about 40 bucks profit, and I would not spend 28 bucks to make 12, but some people would. I also noticed a huge uptick in workout DVDs. This DVD is worth 70 bucks. A year ago, it was worth $5. Go figure, right? Here's another one of those Leapfrog laptops I told you about. Again, that's not a huge flip. That's nowhere near the 300 bucks or the 500 bucks or whatever I'll make off the DVD, but it's gonna sell fast. The sales rank is like 5,000 on those. So all the new inventory that I believe is underpriced will get sold out if I'm right, and then I can make, you know, my 25 bucks off that in a few months. Whatever. That one only cost me $2. So that's okay. That's okay. Wayne Newton box set. I don't want to be dark or morbid, but Wayne Newton, he's gonna die soon, you know? And when people die, their things are worth a lot more money. So this I'm gonna hold on to. It's going for about 50 bucks right now, and I think you know, as the guy's he's an icon. He's a very important person in American musical history, I guess you might even say. He's been doing shows in Vegas since he was like a little kid, like 13 or 12 years old. So I don't want to seem callous at all by saying I'm gonna hold until he dies. But that's just, as an item, that's an undeniable fact. So I'm not gonna lie to you guys just because the truth is kind of uncomfortable. Could you imagine if everyone was like that? If everyone said they're not gonna lie to you just because it makes them uncomfortable? What a world we would live in then, huh? What a world we'd be. We wouldn't be in half the problems we're in right now if the people that we listen to, the people who are in power above us, were okay with telling us uncomfortable truths. But what do I know? I just sell people's trash. Let's see. How many thrift stores do you go to get all the stuff you're showing? Today, I went to about 8. I went to about 8 thrift stores, and I almost lost my shit at every single store, because as much as I didn't like certain aspects of the lockdown, I liked everyone leaving me alone. When I go into thrift stores, I wear a big face mask and big glasses, and I just try and mind my own goddamn business, because I don't like being talked to when I'm out working like that. And for some reason, people who are at thrift stores think that if they're there to waste time, everyone must be there to waste time. And so it was tough for me just to, like, you know, not tell these random strangers a bit of my mind. But you can't be like that. You can't be vindictive. It's not good for your body or your mind. I flipped a broken Library Congress of cassette player for the blind for 90 bucks. I paid $5. Wow, that's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. That's a cool little piece of history there. I like that. Effing scammers. My husband deals in luxury watches. So many asshats out there. Be careful. Yeah, that's, that's the risk with selling nicer stuff, is people know they can screw you over. I'd be curious to learn how he safeguards himself against scammers in that particular niche. Duke Nukem 666. That's funny. That reminds me of when I was in middle school. My thrift stores are still closed for some reason. Yeah, that sucks. They are. A lot of them around here are still closed too. I wish I could help you out. Even though you don't want to be bothered, if I see you at a thrift store, I'm still going to say hi. Yeah, that's fine. If you see me, say hi. But don't just be like talking random bullshit to me and following me around the store. Don't do that. Saying hi, that's okay. But what happened to me is there were people who would just like want to carry on conversations about nothing, about TV shows they like from the 90s, stuff like that. Just, none of that stuff. None of that. Maybe other people wanted to do that, but I'm just not a small talk person. Not at all. Okay, we have a few more things in the goodie box. Another DVD that I'll sell. I got another King of Queens. This is actually used, but usually what I've noticed is the later seasons of TV shows are usually worth more than the earlier TV shows. And I have two theories on that. My first theory is that a lot of streaming services will only show the first X amount of seasons of a TV show because either the show switched networks or it switched production companies or whatever it is. And so the licensing is not for the duration of the series. The second reason I think that later season DVDs are worth more is because there are less discs with those episodes on them. So if you think about it, if a show runs for 10 seasons and it's enormously popular, there's going to be iterations of the first 3 seasons, of the first 5 seasons in box sets, in director's cuts, and that kind of stuff. But the timeline for them to make a box set with a season 9 of 10 is not as much. Obviously, if the show is like phenomenally popular, they're going to do it anyways. But a show like King of Queens that kind of had a waning fan base over its last few years, a show like Community, the TV show, for example, I haven't seen any Community box sets, but I would put money on the statement that a season 5, 6 box set of Community is going to be worth than a season 1, 2, 3 box set, just because season 5 was on Hulu, season 6 was on like Yahoo or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but just, as a tangent. We have a few more questions. Let's see. Well, random conversations with weirdos are part of the thrifting scene. Yeah, I guess they are. I guess that's just the cost of doing business, and all I can do is try and look as unfriendly as possible. What is the best time to go to the thrift store? Whenever it works for you. There are a lot of people who say, only go in the mornings, only go on Mondays. And certainly there are instances where that is true. But if you know what you're doing, there's always going to be stuff that you can make money off of. So just go when you have the time. And as you make more money, and as having more money allows you to have a freer schedule, go earlier in the day. See if that works. Some of my thrift stores I don't go to in the morning because I know that they don't restock the electronic shelves until the second shift of people. I just have noticed that over the years of doing this. So it's not always about finding what is necessarily the best time for all thrift stores. It's about going to your thrift stores, taking notes, all that kind of stuff, and seeing, okay, here's how I can profit the most. And I believe on my Gumroad link, I think it's either $9 or it's free. I have all my spreadsheets that I use to track thrift stores. You know, it's the kind of thing where you have to treat this the same way you would any other business. You know, maybe it looks messy and maybe it's kind of, I don't wear a suit to work, but the things that I handle in my business are the things that any other business that sells stuff is going to handle. It's just, okay, where is our best supplier? Where is our best customer? How can we lower the friction between those two places, between those two entities? That's what the profit's going to be. Peter J. Malone says, when you go to thrift stores, if you see sports teams like Lakers, Yankees, Cowboys, if they are priced low, I know it's subjective, but is there a market for sports items? So I think what you're asking is, do I blindly buy items that are branded with popular sports teams? No. I may have done that 3 or 4 years ago, but at this point, it's just not worth it because, yes, you're more likely to sell a Cowboys hat than you are Idaho Vandals hat. Probably not, to be honest. What's a team no one cares? A Detroit Lions hat. There, I'll just throw my team under the bus. Is a Cowboys hat more valuable than a Detroit Lions hat? Yeah, probably, but not at a point where I'm just gonna buy them. If I see sports items that I think are good, I'm going on eBay and I'm looking them up to see what the completed listings tell me, because that's what I care about more so than just hunches or rules of thumb. If I can look up an item and specifically know what it sells for, that's going to be more informative than anything else I could do. Rachel Doe says, I'm always trying to look unfriendly too. I have resting, approachable face, and strangers always want to talk. Yeah, especially if you're a woman too. I always notice that there's a certain kind of man at thrift stores who goes there to waste time, who thinks that complimenting women is like a fair trade, which is absolutely absurd in my opinion. Who the hell wants compliments? Not me. But yeah, I gotta imagine if you're a woman, you're gonna have a lot more people trying to talk to you. I'm a 6.5 foot, 300-pound man. No one's trying to mess with me, you know? I'm like 250 now, but still, I'm a big guy. Is it better to have 2 eBay stores with 10K listings or 1 with 20K listings? You know, I don't know for a fact what's better, but I would just say 2, because then if one gets banned, you still have the other one. You can also kind of specialize, although the days of having like specialized eBay stores with like a, you know, a catchy eBay title like Blake's Used Golf Clubs Emporium, that kind of mattered more like 5 years ago. But with the complexity and sophistication of eBay search engine, the SERPs, the way in which they display search results to people who are searching either on Google or on the eBay app, I don't believe that that is as important. And so then again, I fall back to just diversification. Is it better to have 2 separate businesses or 1? And all things equal, I would say 2. Sweet Al is back. He says, great vids. Thank you, Sweet Al. Duke Nukem says, I see you have a rock band Furman guitar that's going for $150, $200. Yeah, I do. I have, you know, back there, the Guitar Hero guitars I have are, they're all listed right now. You know, it's okay. Guitar Hero guitars are an easy sell. You know, they're basically what I do when I sell these is I make sure that there's no rattling on the inside. I make sure the whammy bar is stiff, and I make sure that there's no like serious damage to the cord or to like the plastic on there. They're easy. What's up, Walter? You started my reselling career. I like your videos where I used to scream, hello! I don't do that anymore. I got too tired. It got to be too much work, and I thought it was funny and fun, but a lot of people were off-put by that, and so I kind of had to lower down the profanity and the screams just to approach a broader audience, because again, is my intention with these videos to make them for myself, or is to make them for you people? And it's to make them for you people, and so unfortunately, I can't always do what I want to do. I have to make some concessions. Dizzy Dean says, where do you buy your packages that you use to merchant fulfill? Just in the warehouse. I mean, I get so many returns from Amazon FBA. I buy so much stuff that I get them here. If I run out of boxes, I go to Home Depot and I buy their 12 by 12 by 16 boxes. Excuse me, I think they're 76 cents a piece. If you buy more than 10 at a time, you get a discount, so they're down to like 68 cents a piece. That's what I do. Those boxes are easy enough. I can fit most VCRs in them, but I don't really have a shortage of cardboard. Shane O'Donnelly asks, if you have a Guitar Hero dongle, which I might have some right around here to show. I do, yeah. If you have a Guitar Hero dongle, which this is a Xbox One 360, an Xbox 360 Guitar Hero dongle, and this is to facilitate a wireless Guitar Hero guitar. You plug this into the thing and it acts as the receiver for the Guitar Hero guitar. Do I sell these separately? Yes, I do. I sell them for about 20 bucks a piece. Sweet Al says, do you have to use Amazon boxes to merchant fulfill? I hope not. If that's a rule, I didn't know it. I don't think so. I can't tell you with certainty that isn't the rule, but I have never heard of it. So I'm 99.999% sure you don't. But I've never actually looked up the rules for that. How many square feet is my warehouse? Asks CJ Speno. I don't remember. It's like a little less than 2,000. I pay less than $1,000 a square foot, which is a dirt cheap deal. It's like 2,000 or like 1,750. I don't remember though exactly. Yeah, Stephen Davenport says, no, you don't have to use Amazon boxes. That's what I thought, but, you know, I haven't looked it up, so I can't tell you with certainty. Any more questions, guys? I'm almost done. If you've seen these, you know I love these. The price on these is kind of, so, again, talking about tanking prices. I sold a few of these for 80 bucks. I made a video on it. Everyone bought them and listed them. The price sunk down to 20 bucks. Oh no, Blake ruined the market. Guess what? It's back up at 50 bucks. Everything changes. Everything is cyclical. There are peaks and there are troughs. And our job is to figure out when the troughs occur, buy shit, wait till the peaks occur. That's money. That's how you make money. Also, make sure that it has the, this thing, the stylus. You can buy them, but unfortunately, like I said, this size stylus, I cannot find someone on Alibaba who makes the same one. They're a little bit longer, and so when I try and put them in here, it sticks out like that, and it pisses me off. Okay, someone said, great info. Yeah, this is exactly what someone said. Can't listen to the bad language. And I guess if what I'm saying now is too rough for you, you're in a pickle, because this is stuff you can hear on TV. Shane O'Donnelly says, do you do MF Prime? What MF Prime is a merchant fulfilled Prime, meaning it's an Amazon Prime listing, but I would ship it out of my warehouse, and I am beholden to the same requirements that an FBA item would have. So 2-day shipping, 1-day handling, returns for any reason. That being said, you would also get the buy box even though you are a merchant fulfilled seller. And I don't do that because it just opens up too many cans of worms. You know, I don't think the benefit is big enough for me at this point in my career with the way I like to do business. Patrick J. Malone says, do you ever sell furniture locally. In the DC area, I know people who get it for free and then flip it online. One Fred made $10K in 2 months. I don't. I could, but I don't. I shouldn't say I don't ever. I have maybe a dozen times over the past 12 months, but it isn't the kind of thing that I look out for. Obviously, what I should do is clear up all my space here and fill it with furniture because that's fun to do. The last thing I sold locally was a kid's, like, vintage antique kid's desk. So I do it occasionally. It's a viable business model, but I just don't do it personally. I see Copy Tech says, I see you are almost as messy as myself. Keep at it, man. You will one day reach a level of clutter only a master of mess could achieve. Trust me, it's been so much worse in here. This is like probably a 6 out of 10 in terms of how clean I get things. This is the last printer I want to show you. The last item I want to show you. So it's similar to the printer I have. It's an Epson Xp 410. It is not the Eco Tank, unfortunately, but it has this right here, Wi-Fi. Whenever you can get an Epson printer that has Wi-Fi for like a home office like this, I would say always buy it. If it's only $7. This one's going for about $2.50 right now. The only issue is I didn't test it in the store because there's no power cord. But that style of power cord, I have dozens and probably hundreds of them in my cord section of the warehouse. So what I'll do is I will just I'll test it over there. I have the Epson driver installed in my computer, so I'll just print off a test sheet and then I'll sell it that way. I probably wouldn't do it if it was like a bigger, heavier printer, but this one's easy to ship, easy to sell. I might even FBA it too, just because shipping out printers, kind of, I don't know. We'll see. If I start doing more FBA stuff, that would be on the top of the list for things I would FBA, just because you can get a lot more for office supplies if they have 1 or 2 day shipping, because a lot of times people are buying them for their business and they're more willing to spend more money for that higher level of customer service. So we've got OBX Picker, Carolina Hustler, Renee F, and Giero Espinoza, new in the chat. Thank you for coming here. Thank you very much. If you guys give the video a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. The more thumbs up the videos have, the more folks we can help. Let's see. Renee says, love your videos. Great info. Thank you, Renee. I tell everyone about you and how honest you are. Well, that is very kind of you. Question. Have you ever bought wholesale pallets and had them send direct to Amazon for selling? No, I have not done that. There are services who will do prep for that. I can't name any off the top of my head, but they certainly exist. So I haven't done that. I don't know how one would even do that with the recent changes to like Amazon 3D barcode rulings, and I don't even know enough to talk about it really, because it's not what I do necessarily. I have sent pallets into Amazon of things that I've prepared personally, but I've never done manufacturer direct to Amazon. Let's see. Any more questions, guys? Because I am out of items, and so I'd love to answer a few more questions before I go home and make myself some dinner. I'm cooking bratwursts and corn on the cob for Ashley and myself, and we're going to have a delicious meal out on our back patio area. Are you in your warehouse right now? Yes! This is the beautiful warehouse. I'm not going to do a warehouse tour until I clean up the place, and that might not ever happen until I move. OBX Picker says, I like his background, makes me feel okay with my stacks in my eBay room. Yeah, you know, the one thing I've always wanted to do on my channel is be upfront and honest about who I am and what I do. And that doesn't appeal to everyone, but hopefully it appeals to enough people where these videos get watched. Mark Hicks says, I've been burned a couple of times by having distributors ship directly to Amazon, missing pieces, wrong colors. Yikes. That does sound like a pain in the ass. All right, your Butacious Sound says, terrific info as always. Headed now to watch your vid about being ungated. Thanks for the tip. Yeah, if you want to know how to get ungated for DVDs, literally, my video is free on YouTube. There are people out there who charge, I'm not kidding, $2,000 to tell you to go to AENT.com and make a wholesale order. What kind of bullshit consultant is that? Now listen, I know that everyone has their hustle and everyone's out to make a buck, right? And everyone has the right to do that. But I'm just saying, as a matter of fact, the info that others charge you thousands of dollars, if you want to spend a half hour of your time, watch the video. It's free. It's free. Grand Rapids Goodwill bins are so full right now. Michigan shout out. Don't know why they have a sign in an entry. It's a gold mine. I might get over there. I had a lady tell me today that I couldn't. There's so many donations at the thrift stores today, recently, that they have gaylords on the floor. And you're not allowed to look through them. And a lady said to me, oh, there could be coronavirus on that stuff, so we're going to let it sit for 3 days in the middle of the goddamn Salvation Army. And it took every ounce of restraint I had not to unleash on that lady how stupid all of that was. I had another guy say to me, oh, there's glass in there. Are people donating shards of glass? I understand. Oh, there's mirrors maybe. I have been picking through pallets of shit for years. I'm not scared of little glass. Sorry if that was a little too much. I have opinions on things. Oh boy, oh boy. 7:10. I'm almost out of stuff to talk about. If you guys have any more questions, have any more comments, we'll do about, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes left, but we're almost to an hour and a half. And people, the feedback I'm getting is they like these long form videos, but I know from the stats, from the analytics, only about 15 or 20% of you watch it all the way through. And so I'm tempted to say that anything I say 75 minutes into a live stream is just floating off into the ether. I could be making death threats to people and it wouldn't matter. No one's watching it except for the 77 of you here. Not that I would do that. Not that I'm the kind of person who would threaten people, but I'm just saying, if I did, would it matter? All right, guys. Oh, we got a lot more comments. Okay. People just saying that they are having fun here, and that's good, because if I can teach you stuff, we can all have some fun at the same time. That seems like a win for everyone. All right, guys, I'm gonna head out. See you later. Remember, if you see someone trying to make their life better, please support them. We have to remember to support people who may be different than us, who may think differently than us, but still their intention is to make their life better. And if we all understand that foundational aspect about the human condition, we will be so much happier. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Don't be a shithead too. I always